should be celebrated. I love that ad because it really captures many of the reasons why. And yet you have the woke mob coming to erase womanhood furthermore from the mothers. Toronto school takes down Mother's Day message following criticism. So if you look at the sign, it says, life does not come with a manual, it comes with a mom. Well, that's sure to trigger some liberals, isn't it?
And you know what? What a beautiful phrase that is. And as I understand, Drea, this was a part of a writing contest by the grade 6 class at Q Beach Junior Public School. And somebody came up with that. Life does not come with a manual. It comes with a mom. I don't care if your mom is in your life or not. We all came from a female who was a mother. You become a mother when you give birth. That's as easy as it is. And, you know, I'll correct you on something. It wasn't the woke mob, Drea. It was one Karen who went on Facebook and got a couple of other Karens on side, and they made a complaint to the school. And just like that, it's gone. And I was listening to an interview on the radio with Ryan Bird. He's a spokesman with the TDSB, and Ryan's a good guy. You know, he's just following orders, folks. He's just communicating what his woke, insane bosses are telling him to say. But basically, the way they're framing it, Dre, is it didn't reflect the entire community. I don't know how that's possible. We all came from a mother,
exactly.
You know, whether she's in your life or not. So out of the sensitivity to the, I guess, the people who don't like mothers or Mother's Day, we took the sign down. You know, Drea, let's flip this around. Next month will be Pride-a-Palooza. It used to be a day, then a week, then a month, and now it's a season. Pretty soon it'll be a year. I wonder if a school raised a pride flag, especially one of those Pride Progress flags, you know, with the BIPOC vagina included in it. If I went, you know what? That doesn't represent me and my community. Do you mind if you take that down? Could you imagine what would happen, Drea? First of all, it's going to be a hard no. Secondly, there'll probably be a phone call to the Ontario Human Rights Commission. I would be lambasted. And this is for a community that is less than 2% of the world population. And yet for 100% of the world's population that began life thanks to a mother, this is somehow offensive to some lunatic Karens out there that made this feeble complaint. You're
so
a mother,
wrong.
Drea. What do you say about this?
I am so disgusted by it. And it looks like the words that they use was that it's harmful and exclusionary. And you hit so much on the nail there. We put up on the screen that Canada now acknowledges that we apparently have a Pride season. Now, that is not inclusive of everyone in Canada. Absolutely not. And last year, I reported on how schools are also canceling Mother's Day crafts and Mother's Day celebration for the same reason. They think it's harmful, exclusionary. But what I don't understand is the gender bender people love to say that anybody can be a woman, anybody can be a mom. So what is wrong with saying mothers? If to them mothers means whoever wants to identify as a mother, what is wrong with the label of a mother? It's like if you say, hey, we like plumbers because, you know, when something's not working with our toilet, plumbers do a good job. Oh, that's exclusionary. You use the word plumbers. Not everybody's a plumber. That's exactly what they're doing. It makes zero sense. And you're right. Pride, the kids will be celebrating Pride. They will be coming home with Pride crafts.
Oh, yeah.
I have emails coming in already this year about Mother's Day being canceled. So I'll do a write-up about that as well. So this is really an attack on females, motherhood, and it's got to stop. This is insane. And I didn't realize it was a grade 6. You're saying grade 6 came up with that beautiful quote and it gets taken down like it was something hateful.
Yeah. And imagine how that student feels. And by the way, Dre, I mean, and the argument is, well, many of our students, or some of them at least, they don't have a mother in their life. Maybe the mother never wanted to raise the child. Maybe the mother's passed away. Well, in the case of the latter, you know what Mother's Day is all about? It's honoring the memory of your mother. And in case anyone thinks I'm being cruel about this, let me tell you something. You probably don't know this, Dre. I'll make this anecdote as short as possible. When I grew up, I did not have a mother and father in my life. I was raised by my grandparents. And when it was Mother's Day and Father's Day, and when we had to make a craft in elementary school, I did not feel excluded. I did not feel ostracized. I made those crafts and I gave them to my grandmother and my grandfather, who I dearly, dearly loved and I dearly miss. So I am indeed speaking from experience. Even if there is not a mother and father in your life, it is absolutely no reason to cancel Mother's Day and Father's Day. And shame on these hypocrites. Because like I said, Drea, if this was you or I raising an issue about Pride Year, it'll soon be, we would be vilified and demonized. But when the Karens carry out a jihad against motherhood, we have to listen to that community. We can't be exclusionary, even though we're, I guess, excluding 4 billion people on the planet in terms of mothers and potential mothers.
And look how quickly they bend for a handful of parents. But, you know, if you point out that, a teacher shouldn't be walking around exposing their nipples to children, like, look what happens then. Or the sexually explicit books in schools, hundreds are complaining about these issues and nothing's being done by it. And I didn't know that about how you were raised, but thanks for sharing that. But you're right. It's almost like we're teaching kids they can't handle life that way too. If you're saying, oh, don't ever talk about your mom, don't ever say it's good around kids that don't have their mom, how do they grow to accept their life? And grandma should have a Mother's Day gift too, or for craft. I'm sure she was so happy to receive that from you. So,
you know, I wouldn't be opposed to it. She was such a special woman in my life. I can tell you that, Dre. In fact, I'd be nowhere without her. But I think that ship has sailed. The ideas of mothers and fathers, grandmothers and grandfathers. No, that's too exclusionary. Let's have drag queen performances in elementary schools. Let's have pornography in the elementary school library. Let's have a teacher who is probably suffering from a sexual perversity. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Busty Lemieux at Oakville Trafalgar High School. And by the way, folks, we have a big update to that story coming. Stay tuned. You won't be disappointed. All of that is fine and dandy. No problem there.
Right.
But when it comes to honoring a biological mother or father, this is somehow offside by the whole diversity crowd. How is it being diverse to exclude mothers and fathers in the first place, Drea?
You know, you hit it all. I can't believe what we discuss in news. I'm shocked every day. I don't know why. Like, how is this happening? How are mothers offensive? That's the reality of Canada. And that's what we're teaching kids in public school, that this child did something wrong with that loving message that's poetic. What does that say to all the kids? I can't, it's disgusting.
That's a clip from something we call Rebel News Daily. It's our daily live stream hosted by my friend David Menzies, but the show also includes a rotating cast of hosts and special guests, including me. It's a great way for us to talk about the news of the day as the news is happening in an unscripted fashion, and it's an awesome way for you to interact with us as well. We stream every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Mountain, wherever you find Rebel News. See you there.